I want to add a couple of quick things. When you talk about north being south, in a traditional understanding, in a spatial view outside of the Earth, the the South Pole is up. That's the top of the world, not the north. In a spatial, when you're outside, the heavy part of the Earth is the what's called the North Pole. Okay, so it is up, is south. Okay. And when you talked about the birth canal, things like that, those are traditional stories of creation. All go back to the passage of birth all the way through. But the Masons, when you say Freemasonry, I would qualify that to say, because Freemasonry didn't start until the Masons had all left Europe. Really? 1717, it's too late. They had all gone. That's why there were no Masons left. They had all come over here. All our early families that came over here were all Masonic. Not Freemasonic, but yet they still came back into Freemasonry, and my families were Grand Masters for Upper and Lower Canada. But you have to qualify that because there was internal battles with the American Freemasons that came over. They had their own ideas, okay? And they had the same symbolism, the same things, but they did not have the same loyalty as the Templars did to the families. And that's been the challenge here in North America.
I personally think that a lot of this stuff that I'm talking about, this goddess stuff, I think within Freemasonry, some of this has been lost. And this is part of the reason why I think there's been a really positive reaction by many Freemasons, at least where I live. And some of them, there's only a few that say, hey, yeah, I get that. Most of them go, I didn't know that. So some of this, I personally think, is information that's been lost. And it's coming out again. So, but it sounds to me like some of the native people kind of had it figured out all along.
Guys, we're going to allow time for Michael Thrasher, so maybe 2 more questions, and that's going to wrap it.
Okay, thank you. I'll stand up. You've presented to us some very interesting pieces of a pretty grand puzzle. And your slide that showed the 4 lozenges, and you've talked about 2 of them here today. And you made some your choice with Prince Henry Sinclair, and you alluded to his Norse connections. Do you have any, because it looked like one of the lozenges that you showed was smaller than a square. Yeah. Have you thought about going further north into and finding what is there?
Haven't fleshed that out yet, but yes, I definitely, because that lozenge is taller than the latitude at Rosslyn. So, if we're talking about the runestone, let's say, that trip probably started from somewhere, may have started in the Baltic Sea, but for whatever reason, that lozenge represents a higher latitude. And I don't know what it means, but yes, I've thought about it, and I haven't developed it yet, but if anybody has any ideas, fire away. I'm open.
I was just wondering if you'd taken the time to measure the angles and
yes.
thereby have a known...
Trondheim is one area that would be... But, you're talking about a relatively rough carving, and so, you have to... But it's that would be the closest major port.
Last question.
Yeah.
Here, let's pass the microphone to whoever's speaking.
I'm sorry?
With regards to the tower.
Okay.
Ask your question again.
Yeah. I've been out with Jim Whittall and others inside that tower many times, and particularly the change of the seasons. Now, when you took that photograph, was that on the winter solstice?
Yes. That was last winter I took those pictures.
We've been there the day before, the day of, and the day after. And where the sun strikes is a little different. Mm-hmm. It does not hit that stone the way you showed it in that photograph.
Well, that was actually, this year it was, the solstice was actually on December 22nd, and that was the morning of December 22nd.
But being out there in March, which is 9 months from Christmas, I find that very interesting.
Gee, what takes 9 months? Hey, that's a good one to end on right there. Thank you.